the last video, I explained to you about the first two important strategies of reducing the tantrum. One being healthy nutrition, two being limiting screen time. Now we are going to see the next three important factors. Let's see now. Going to the third factor, it would be a little funnier. It's not going to be somewhere outside, it is going to be inside you. That is parents' behavior. The parents' behavior actually has to be under control. We are trying to control the child's behavior where we are thinking they are out of control, I need to stop them, I need to control them, I need to teach them. But actually, more than the children, the parent actually are throwing a lot of tantrum. Because of instant lifestyle in the current days and because of lot of work pressure, many of the mother or father find it difficult to balance between the personal life and the professional life. Now what happens is, because of this imbalance factor, what happens is the tolerance level in an adult actually becomes really less. What they tend to do is, they tend to really become aggressive about small situations. They become short-tempered, or when a child is throwing even a normal tantrum, it becomes very hyper for the parent. So what here happens is, you also contribute to the tantrumatic nature of the child, because they look at an adult in an environment is often becoming angry, often throwing tantrum. It also makes them reflect the same action when they are wanting something from you. So what happens is that an adult in an environment has to choose to become balanced, but we are also like normal humans, we cannot be like a perfect human, but losing control over ourselves will also make the child lose control over themselves. So make sure that your tantrum is also less. Have a control, have an awareness over yourself that in a day, let me not lose my control for more than 3 to 4 times. Otherwise, if you are going to lose your anger 2 to 3 times in a day or more than that, then that means you are out of your control. So there is no use that you are trying to control your child, because your child is just a reflection of your character as they move around in the environment. So third point is most important point. As an adult, you need to make sure that you're so mindful and you're also making sure that you have a balance of patience in your life. This is the third important factor. Fourth point, which is unavoidable, that is called effective communication. Most of the time we are communicating with the child, no doubt about it. But whether it is a quality communication or effective communication is what we need to assess ourselves. But what is meant by effective communication? Effective communication means that when a speaker is speaking, the listener should be in a mode where he listens to it. That means he should be connected to the speaker. But if he is not connected to the speaker, it is going to the deaf ears. This is what is happening in 99% of the household. The parents are talking. They are thinking they are communicating, but the communication on the other side doesn't happen because the children are not even in a connected mode to listen to you. Let's understand effective communication means a parent should make sure that the child is listening to them, understanding them and following them. If they are not listening to you and following them, that means you are talking to them in a disconnected mode. So effective communication means you are in a connected mode and speaking to it. So how does the connected mode actually happens between a parent and a child? Only when you and the child sit together and comfortably play with each other and you see that you both are smiling between each other, at that time convey the most important discipline factors or convey the most important problems which you want to convey to your child. Because most of the time when a child is doing something wrong, you are already reacting to that situation and you are wanting them to discipline it. It doesn't go because you are in a very hyper mode and the child is in a very recessive mode. In this imbalanced situation, effective communication does not happen. So how to make this effective communication? So whenever you're wanting to discipline your child or convey an important instruction or asking them to do something, you should be in a mode where you are connected. The best way is to play with them, and when you both are smiling, talk to them at that situation and get it done. But if you are a parent who are saying, I don't have time to do all this, then that means you must always struggle with your child. Choose to be a wise parent where you invest time in the relationship rather than finding it to say that I don't have time. Because in this world, it's not about no time, it's about you don't have a priority to do that. That can be the only reason for that. Okay, so as a parent, you must be investing in that relationship to build the effective communication. Last but not least, the fifth point everyone should keep in mind, because effectively implementing this fifth point helps you to reduce the tantrum a lot. What is that? Building a routine for a child. When I say routine, parents keep thinking routine for the whole day, like they want to have a timetable that morning they will do this, afternoon they will do this. This cannot happen. You're not making the child to go to a school where they will have a formal timetable. That routine is a perfect routine. A routine at home has to be totally different. There are predictable routines, like everyday morning the children get up and do their brushing. This is something predictable at around like 9 o'clock, and they take a bath and then eat. This is a predictable routine. Or in the night around 9 o'clock they go to sleep, or after dinner they take a gap of half an hour to 1 hour and go to sleep. These are all the predictable routines which a child is having already at home. But as a parent, what we need to build a routine along with this predictable routines. Along with this predictable routines, you need to build the aspects such as before going to bed, you will finish your reading every day 15 minutes. Before having your dinner, let's finish the homework and have the dinner. So what we are trying to do is every predictable routine which is already a part of the children's life, you are including their duties and responsibilities. You cannot fix a time at 7 o'clock we will finish homework, at 9 o'clock we will finish reading, because what happens is nobody is aware of the time. So when a child, before he starts to go for a dinner, the mind will give a ting sound where it says, hey, before eating, I need to finish my homework. Hey, before sleeping, I need to do my reading. Now what we are trying to bring into the child's life is a habitual routine which is predictable, and the children themselves can remember this over a period of time. This takes a little bit effort from the parental side to implement. You cannot have a timetable which is followed in a school at home. Instead, what you have to do is, what are all the predictable routines which is already the child is having at home, include one activity which is more important for the child. Like for example, many parents complain to me that the children are not writing, they don't want to write. So if you build a routine that before drinking their boost or Bonvita or whatever in the evening, I'll make sure that the child writes for 15 minutes. So every day when a child is taking the boost, the mind will remind them about, hey, I need to write. So in that way, build a routine which will reduce the tantrum, and they will stick on to what is the habit that they have to do. Now this will be a very, very long-term effective way of reducing a tantrum towards their academic skills. Like many parents are suffering to make the child finish the homework, finish the reading, preparing them for exam. If all these activities can be clubbed with one action of routine which is happening in children's everyday life, then it can reduce it. This is what we were teaching in our 7 days Follow the Child Challenge program. In our further upcoming videos, I'll be explaining about how to build this routine, how to build the discipline and independence in the child. But before that, you need to make sure these 5 points are implemented to reduce the tantrum in them. Remember, every child is unique, and every child have their own strength. Every child is like having their own way of communicating, like they are introvert, they are extrovert, or they are more expressive, or they are less expressive. But it is that every child is unique. Whatever the 5 basic points I told is the fundamental point which is applicable for all children. But on top of that, as a parent, you know what kind of child is yours, and you need to also take up the advanced strategies based on your child's characteristics which can work for you. But if suppose you're not able to understand your child, you can take a one-to-one consultation with us where we can help you more on the advanced strategies. This is Rohini here signing off, your natural frequency parenting coach.